There comes a moment in every life, a sacred breaking point, where you've done everything in your power. You've prayed relentlessly, you've worked tirelessly, you've cried behind closed doors hoping no one would see your pain. You've carried the weight of your dreams, your fears, your responsibilities, and still nothing moves, nothing changes, nothing makes sense. You reach a place where your strength no longer feels strong, where your plans start falling apart, where the people you counted on slowly disappear, and the path ahead looks more like a fog than a future. It's in that moment, not in comfort, not in control, but in surrender, that a whisper enters your spirit, let go, and that whisper, that still small voice from God, it's not rejection, it's invitation. It's not the end of your fight, it's the beginning of your freedom, because when you let go, when you finally loosen your grip on what you thought had to happen your way, your timing, your blueprint, that's when God steps in. Letting go isn't weakness, it's not giving up on the dream, it's not abandoning hope. Letting go is the highest act of trust. It's saying, God, I don't know what you're doing, but I believe you're doing something better than I could ever imagine. It's releasing your plans for His purpose. It's trading control for peace. It's saying, even if I don't understand the process, I trust the one who's guiding it. This isn't the end of your story. This is the part where the story shifts. This is the part where you step back and God steps in. And when He steps in, everything changes. We grow up in a world that teaches us one thing above all else. Control everything. Control your grades, control your future, control your relationships, your money. Why? Surrender brings peace. Your body, your career, your emotions. From a young age, we're taught that success is about having a plan and sticking to it no matter what. But life doesn't follow our plans. You do everything right. You stay disciplined. You work hard. You try to please everyone around you, and still the job falls through. The person leaves, the door closes. And that's when you realize control is an illusion. The tighter you grip life, the more it slips through your fingers like sand. The more you try to fix every detail, manage every outcome, or force every timeline, the more drained you become. It's exhausting to live like that, always on guard, always anxious, always afraid of what might happen if things don't go your way. But here's the truth. God never asked you to carry that weight. He didn't create you to control everything. He created you to trust Him with everything. You were not built to bear the burden of the entire world on your shoulders. You are not called to fix what only God can redeem. You are not the author of the story. You're a character in His masterpiece. And maybe, just maybe, the chaos you're going through right now isn't a punishment, it's a lesson. Maybe that storm you're facing isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to drown the illusion that you were ever in control to begin with. God allows discomfort not to punish you, but to position you, to show you that your strength alone isn't enough, but His grace is, when everything feels out of control. That's your invitation to release the illusion and return to the only one who's ever truly been in control, because peace doesn't come from having control, peace comes from having faith. And freedom, that begins the moment you say, God, I surrender, take the wheel. Surrender. It's a word we don't like to hear. When you're weak, God is strong, because in our minds, surrender means weakness. It means giving up. It means losing, but not in the kingdom of God. In God's kingdom, surrender is not the end, it's the beginning. It's not failure, it's faith. It's not defeat, it's deliverance. Letting go is not losing, it's making room. Room for God to move. Room for His wisdom to guide you. room for His grace to carry you, room for peace to replace anxiety, room for purpose to replace confusion. You see, we're not called to surrender everything. We're called to surrender what we were never meant to carry. Your fear, let it go. Your obsession with timelines and deadlines, let it go. Your need for validation from others, let it go. The people you keep chasing who clearly don't want to stay, let them go. Because every time you release something you were never meant to hold, God replaces it with something greater. Let go of your fear, and God gives you faith. Let go of your need for control, and God gives you clarity. Let go of your timeline, and God gives you His timing, and His timing is always perfect. Surrender doesn't mean you stop showing up. It doesn't mean you stop working or dreaming or moving forward. It simply means you stop worrying about how it all has to happen. It means you do your part and you trust God to do. His faith doesn't require sight. In fact, real faith begins where sight ends, when you let go. You're stepping into a season where you don't have all the answers, and that's okay, because you don't need all the answers when you walk with the one who is the answer. Think of Abraham, who left everything familiar. Think of Joseph, who was thrown into a pit but ended up in a palace. They didn't have clarity, but they had calling. And that's what you need. Faith says, even if I don't know how, I know who. When you finally stop trying to figure it all out, you make room for God to reveal what only He can orchestrate. You can't receive new blessings while holding on to old burdens. Some of us are so tied to our past, our failures, our guilt, our pain, that we're missing what God is trying to do now. Forgiveness is letting go. Healing is letting go. Growth is letting go. And let go and watch God work freedom. It only comes when you stop dragging yesterday into today. God cannot bless the version of you that refuses to change. Let Him do a new thing in your life. Let go of what broke you so He can build you. Let go of what left so He can lead you to what's next. Your destiny is not behind you, it's ahead. But you'll only get there when you unclench your fists and open your heart. This is where it all shifts. This is the breakthrough moment. When you release the wheel, God takes the driver's seat. When you stop trying to force your own way, God makes a way. He sees what you can't. He knows what you don't. He works in silence behind the scenes, lining up every detail. That opportunity you're chasing, He's already prepared it. That healing you need, He's already started it. That peace you're desperate for, He is that peace. But you can't experience it while you're still holding on to what's blocking Him. God does His best work in empty hands. When you let go of control, of fear, of ego, that's when He steps in with power, with provision, with purpose. Let go and watch God show off. You're not losing control, you're gaining freedom. Let God take over, because the moment you let go is the moment God steps in with healing, with provision, with peace, with purpose. He's never late, He's never early, He's always right on time.